This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
The NBL is absolutely flying, and I'll tell you what else is flying. My Bet With Mates group, my NBL Bet With Mates group is airborne at the moment, and yours can be too. All you need to do is get your mates together, start a group, bet together and share in the moment. And what you do when you have those nice wins, you share with the emojis. You get some of those smiling, some of those cash bag emojis. That's what you got to do on the NBL. So get involved. As I said, get your mates together, start a group, share the moment, bet together. It is fantastic. It's the way I'm enjoying the NBL this year. If you're doing so, gamble responsibly.
You know the score. Stay in control, gamble responsibly.
It's the renewal of a rivalry that produced one of the games of the season so far as Cairns host the Kings on Monday Night Hoops. When they last met a month ago, the Hoops capital was a highlights factory. Big plays on defence, high-flying, sharp shooting and a stack of lead changes. Xavier Cook starred for Sydney. DJ Hogue, he carried Cairns down the stretch, hitting big shot after big shot. But in the end, it came down to one man and one shot, Kouat Noi. On his birthday, he sparked wild celebrations in Sydney, and the Snakes were left disappointed, but they could close out the season series and take revenge tonight on their home floor to close out round 8. We're at the Cairns Convention Centre for Monday Night Hoops, and what a game we've got in prospect. First and third, they've played 2 beauties so far this season, more than 30 lead changes, a total winning margin of just 8 points. Let's hope we're in for another classic tonight. Terrific to have you with us in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Joel Peterson alongside Melbourne United star Xavier Rattan-Mays and one of the best analysts in the business in Liam Santa Maria. And X, I'll start with you. The standings, they paint the picture for this game tonight. First and third, and both capable of some high-octane basketball.
Exactly as you said. Sydney, first on the ladder, Cairns third. It's a painted picture, and we're in for a great game tonight.
The Cairns trip is always tough, Liam, but these Kings are making travelling look pretty easy at the moment.
They have been historic on the road, this Sydney Kings squad. Going back to last season, 17 wins on the road in a row. The greatest road winning streak of all time. Absolutely spectacular. The defense has been outstanding. Look at the points they're putting on the board away from home this season. 93.4 and 5-0 so far this season on the road.
Defending the home court for Cairns, though, hasn't been quite as easy.
They have, on the flip side, found it a bit tough. They're 5-1 on the road, the Taipans, but 1-3 at home. This has been a fortress historically for the Taipans in the NBL, but they've been having a bit of trouble. There you see the individuals, the difference home and away. Pinder, Hogue, Scott, the whole squad averaging a whole bunch more points away from the Cairns Convention Centre, and tonight they'll be looking to turn that around.
Speaking of Keanu Pinder, now he's hard to stop, and he thinks he's impossible to stop. On socials this week, he had a very nice little bit of byplay, did the Cairns big man, X?
He did. He's playing with the ultimate confidence right now. He's playing great basketball. He is a focal point of this offense and a guy that they count on night in and night out. So expect to see a huge one from him tonight.
Well, this was his response on the socials. How did the Kings shut him down? They can't, was the simple message in 2 words. And he's going to have to back that up with a big performance.
He'll be going up against, of course, Xavier Cook, who's back in that Sydney Kings lineup, and he's a big, important part of what they do.
He's a huge part of what they do. He's the engine that drives this team. He is their guy, and they're excited to have him back. He's paired alongside D. Walt, their point guard, their sharpshooter and DJ, Tim Suarez, and their Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Justin Simon. They're loaded from top to bottom in the starting unit.
He's top 10 in the league in points and assists, and he's top 5 in rebounds. And he's top 1 for the Kings in just getting big plays done. And they'll be loving having him back in the lineup.
Does a little bit of everything, does Xavier Cooks. Well, DJ Hogue had a quiet timeout against the New Zealand Breakers earlier in the round. Jenna O'Hay is courtside for us tonight. Jenna, you're keen to focus in on the Cairns star import.
I really am. A few games back, my dad said everything that guy touches turns to gold, and it's been true this season, in particular the last time these two teams played in round 5. He made 7 threes on his way to 27 points. It was a high-scoring, free-flowing game where DJ Hogue really thrives. On Friday night, however, as you said, a quiet performance, 4 points, 1 of 9 from the field, and the Breakers made it really difficult for him. He was in full denial. They chased everything over screens, trapping on balls. This was the only one he had time and space for, and as you see, it went in. So let's see if the well-rested Kings adopt a similar game plan against DJ, or he can, release those shackles and get going. If you want to win, he'll have to have a good game.
That he will. Let's take a look at the starting lineup, the champion starting lineup for the Sydney Kings. Cooks is in there, That's a very imposing group.
He's big time. Like I said, he is the engine for this team. He's a guy that they're looking to have a big one for them tonight.
And the champion starting lineup for the Cairns Taipans, Liam.
Talked about the young defender and how important he is, and keep an eye on Sam Wardenberg as well, really rounding into some form. 3 straight games in double-digit points.
So plenty to like about this clash tonight. First and third, the winner takes the season series. It's only gone to Cairns once in their history. They'll be hoping to improve their standing in the competition. They've been a surprise packet, and at this stage, it's just not surprising anymore. This is a legitimate contender going up against the defending champions, and Cooks is involved on offense straight away, trying to find Walton underneath. And it'll go back the other way with the team in orange.
It was interesting. We'll see if it was just off the tip, but Bull Quoll going into a full denial stance on Derek Walton Jr. So it wasn't Shannon Scott on that matchup. Have they given Bull Quoll the job of cutting the head off the Kings with Derek Walton Jr.?
Here is a nice pass from Scott upstairs to Wardenberg. A great start for the Taipans. Just what Adam Ford would have liked to see. Foul on the play. Get the big man going early. X is always nice. Let's take a look at the Amy replay of the opening bucket.
Always great to have one of your guys going early. Obviously a set play to start the game. Wanted to get him going. Wanted to have him see the ball go through the rim early in this game.
He's trying to answer back on the offensive end. Siljevic to Cooks, hangs and hits. Athletic moves, Xavier Cooks.
So tough. You said it, athletic, but also strong. Pinder right back at him down the other way. And the Kings will take that away. But Xavier Cooks, man, they missed him. They got the win without him. Luckily, the schedule broke well for the Kings. They only missed 1 game with that ankle injury. MVP candidate. And they will, as I said off the top, really love having him back in the lineup.
Just the game against Illawarra. A thrilling win in the last 22 days for the Kings as Cooks gets his second bucket to go. As you said, Liam, Wardenberg's been showing some promising signs. DJ Hogue trying to get involved early. Suarez pulls down the defensive rebound for the visitors. Walton found a way to the basket. Kicked it out, Suarez. Siljevic with the head fake. Likes the matchup with Wardenberg here on the perimeter. Big man does a good job to stay in front of him. Cooks takes it up strong and the soft touch with the floater.
6 straight points for him. He's got to be feeling good about that. To be able to come back off an injury and to have a quick impact like that is really great to see and feel like that as a player.
All 3 buckets for the Kings to Xavier Cooks on his return from injury. Here's Quoll turning the corner. He's fouled on the way through.
It's just tough from Xavier Cooks, making something out of nothing. The ability to hang, and he's amped. As you say, getting off to a quick start, 6 straight points, and the Taipans need to get a handle on him.
Leading scorer so far this season, just over 16 a game. 8.5 rebounds, handful of assists. Hogue from outside can't hit. As Jenna detailed, quiet night from him, just the 4 points against New Zealand on Friday. Cooks out to Vasiljevic, had it blocked. So a stop for the Snakes. Hear the instruction from Adam Ford on the sideline. Bit of ball movement from his side. Scott lines up the triple. Won't go. Hoag's there for the putback, can't get it to go. Nothing falling for DJ at the moment, but he got fouled.
He's got a bit of a size advantage over his matchup at the moment. Now, usually it's been Dejan Vasiljevic these first few possessions. That time, the cross match, it ended up with Derek Walton Jr., but because they've got Justin Simon on Shannon Scott, it means a smaller defender on DJ Hoag should be able to get his shot off and right there able to get on the offensive glass.
And as a player, that's always great right there. To see one go through the rim at the foul line, it gives you a little bit of confidence, gets your rhythm going. So hopefully this will get him going, and he'll start clicking at a high level here.
And gets the friendly roll as well. First one, nothing but net. Second one with a little bit of hometown assistance for DJ Hoag. Simon to Walton. Nice dribble move. Puts it on the floor underneath to Simon with the reverse.
He does such a great job of cutting off the basketball. He's obviously not a great shooter, but he does such a great job of cutting, getting to spots, and allowing DJ to really find him in spots where he can be effective.
A lot of stuff that doesn't show up in the box score. Cooks came across Wartenberg and swatted it. The big fella got called for the travel.
He thought he had some open air there, Wartenberg. Here is that movement off the ball you're talking about. Justin Simon just timing it perfectly. His man turns his head, pays attention to the ball, and he gets behind him. And there, Wartenberg did not know Cooks was coming from behind.
So 4-point lead to the Kings early stages. Here's Simon spotting up in the corner. It's an air ball. Out to Vasiljevic, who faked the first three, took the second. Couldn't connect. Rebound falls the way of Scott for the hosts. Skip pass to Hoag, hand in the face, that won't go. So 0 for 3 from outside is Hoag. Walton back the other way, rattles out. Both teams keen to push the pace early. Pinder, beautiful spin move inside.
Timeout, Sydney. Chase Buford wants to talk about it. You're right, it is a high pace. These two teams lead the league, first and second in pace. Both want to get up the floor, make plays in transition, and here Pinder able to spin his way to the front of the rim and cut the margin to 2.
Both got plenty of athletes with which to do it. He's such an exciting prospect, is Keanu Pinder. So an early 2-point lead to the Sydney Kings, paced by Xavier Cooks, who he's got 6 points already, and he's been doing a bit of everything so far this year, often on triple-double watch. He spoke to Jenner O'Hay pre-game about just how that unfolds in the Kings offense.
That's just what's coming for me. Just the teams are really shrinking the floor on me and forcing me to pass the ball out. I've got great teammates around me to make the shots, but that's been a goal of mine, to get a triple-double in this league, and I've been knocking on the door for about 4 or 5 games, so hopefully one of these days.
I feel like he's going to get there at some point.
Yeah, he's been close. Mentioned he's top 10 in the league in assists from the power forward spot. They like to put the ball in his hands, X, and let him make plays.
They do. They put him in a lot of sets where they have one and two setting ball screens for him to allow him to get downhill. And like he just talked about in that interview, the teams to collapse on him and try and make him a playmaker. And obviously he's been doing a really good job at finding teammates, and guys have been knocking down shots for him at a high level.
Helps when you're operating with the class of player that he is operating with, but you've still got to find them. And he's made big strides in that in his game and his playmaking ability. Over the last couple of seasons. Simon in a little bit of discussion along the sideline with the referee. Suarez puts it on the floor for the Kings at the top of the three-point line. Walton backs it out. Shot clock to single digits. Suarez spinning underneath, lays it home. He doesn't like the call.
It was a great fight from Bull Quoll. Got caught in the switch and bodied up. And what was he? The initial call from Vaughan Mabry might have been an offensive foul right there. No, maybe he was counting the bucket. So foul on Bull Quolt, out-muscled underneath in the end, and Suarez heads to the stripe for the bonus.
Another great competition. Your chance to win the trip of a lifetime to the US for you and a mate to meet Shaquille O'Neal. Flights, accommodation and spending money included. Enter now. Scan the QR code on your screen. Been down under recently. Big Diesel.
I know you're yelling, but you just got to be careful who you're yelling at, yeah? Okay, thank you.
Bit of instruction from the referee.
Quolt picked up his second personal there, which sends him to the bench. And he has had that job on Derek Walton Jr. these first few minutes. You imagine that'll be Tajir McCall now. Slide over to the point guard, try to limit his touches.
Qual is normally the guy that they put on point guards. He does a great job of getting up the floor and pressuring opposing guards. He's really the start and the head of their defense.
Big show of trust from Adam Ford and a young player. Paul Qual. Liam said he's spending some time on the pine at the moment. Lovely turnaround from Pinder. Turning baseline and floating it home. Almost halfway gone in this opening period. 3-point lead to the Kings. Xavier Cook's back in the lineup tonight. Simon makes a tough move and he's fouled on the way through.
This is a fun matchup. Justin Simon and Tajir McCall, two guys pretty similar.
Very.
You remember it was Simon 3 seasons ago in the league, and then off the back of that, Adam Ford went and recruited Tajir McCall. We need to find ourselves a Justin Simon. Neither a great shooter from long range, so when you watch them matching up on each other at the moment, both sitting way off, inviting the shot and trying to protect against the drive.
Yeah, as you can see there, Tajir went under 2 and met him at the charge circle. But you know, it's tough to do that sometimes when you have a guy that comes downhill with a full head of steam. It's tough to meet guys there, and obviously he was able to get to the line.
There you go. So Simon misses 2 free throws. Cody's bun as the Cairns crowd cheers the cheeseburgers that are coming their way. 1 of 11 at the free throw line over the last couple of games now, Justin Simon. McCall can't get that to go. Walton running the offense. Steps back. Can't get the 3 ball to go. Pinder got crowded on the rebound by Kouat Noi. Picks up his first personal.
See the ability of the Taipans there to switch on the perimeter. The pick comes on Shannon Squat. Antonio switches on a Walton Jr. Then DJ Hogue switches onto the point guard. They're versatile at the defensive end and ready to switch out and help each other.
There is Antonio. Glover out in the game for the Kings and has an instant impact. Made the game-winning assist last time out. His first play here is a steal. Suarez to Simon. Floats it high off the glass. Affected by some defensive pressure. McCall kicks it out. Antonio to Pinder. Straight away 3 ball. Almost got the shooter's roll. Fight underneath for the rebound. And the ball will go the way of the Kings.
It's not really what he wants to do. Shoot that 3, Keanu Pinder. One of the adjustments he's made since arriving in far north Queensland. Every now and then he'll let one fly just to test his luck, but usually he'll catch it, rip it across, dribble handoff, and roll his way to the rim.
22% on the season. The Cairns star, Sean Bruce into the game. And so much of the story last time out for the Kings. Tough move from Walton, swooping all the way inside and laying it home. 5-point lead to Sydney.
Sydney does such a great job of getting D. Walton those empty side ball screens where you have to make a decision. Are you going to take him, or are you going to allow, guys to get deep rolls? And he makes such great plays for them. And this is where they're great, here in transition, where they can get out and play and get to the foul line and shoot 3s.
They're a force in the open court. And Walton is having an impact. He's been maybe a little bit down on his best over the last few games, but finding some of it early here. Such an exciting force for this Kings outfit.
He's had an interesting season thus far, Derek Walton Jr. Came out and went bang, 32 points on debut. He had a massive second game as well, 25 and a whole bunch of assists, and has been a little quiet since that time. The team's been winning games, so he's been happy to defer to others at times and not necessarily looking to make plays every time down the floor. And he struggled a little bit last time against Cairns. Did the 3 assists, the 5 turnovers. Off to a good start here.
So's this man. DJ Hogue finally gets one to go from downtown.
Great little quick action in transition to get a quick pin away for Hogue to try and get a three-point attempt at the rim. And obviously, with him in that much space, he's becomes really tough to guard.
It was a 7-point lead, back down to 4 with DJ's first bucket of the night.
That'll feel really good for DJ Hogue after the quiet night the other night against the Breakers that Jenna highlighted. And he was 1 of 10 from 3 over his last 2, and then he comes out and he misses his first 3 attempts from long range. But his stroke is pure. You know that they're going to start going down, and against some of these smaller Sydney defenders, he's getting those looks. And he's shooting the ball with confidence.
What level of basketball do you reckon it was that DJ Hogue last scored 4 points, Xavier? I can't imagine he's ever done it, ever. Juniors, seniors.
Yeah, and it probably won't happen again. He has, and for a couple of reasons. He has the ultimate green light in this offense. And like you've seen, he missed his first 3. The 4th one, there's no hesitation to shoot, which is always great as a player to have that green light. And they're going to keep going up, and he shoots it at an extremely high level. So that's a shot that they need and want him to take.
So at the other end, Angus Glover. Strong move from McCall going to the basket, ran into Vasevic.
2 shots.
He's called for the foul. Tajir McCall will step to the stripe. So an early 6-point lead to the Kings. Xavier Cook scored 6 straight out of the blocks.
No.
The Taipans just feeling their way into things.
Review. Guys, review.
Chase Buford wants to have a little bit of a look at this one.
Stay here.
In fact, just the referees taking a look. So review as opposed to a challenge. Vaughan Mabry, Ruben Woolcock and Nico Fernandez, our referees tonight.
1 point. 1 point. 2 shots, line up.
So it will be McCall to go to the stripe after all of that. Looks like work. Shooting especially well at the stripe this season, 44%, makes 2 there. Brings it back to a 14-point game. Noi tosses it away. Ben Eyre into the game and into the action. So aggressive on the defensive end, the Taipans. Ball runs the offense. Off to Hogue. He tosses it away. Glover in the open court. Vasevic can't get the floater to go. Glover and Eyre had a collision, fighting for the ball. And now outside, big 3. Majuk Deng. He's been quiet in recent times, but gets involved there with his first bucket.
Good find from Tajir McCall as well. Knew he had Majuk Deng alongside him. Knocked down 3-point shooter and got him an open look.
Back to a 1-point ball game as Hunter rolls down the lane and lays it home.
Beautiful pass by Bruce right there in that 1-5 pick and roll. Just a little slot pass, allow him to get his head on the rim, and creates an easy one for him.
Deng can't get the mid-range jump shot to go. DJ rolls inside and makes a tough layup. Over Keanu Pinder, if you don't mind.
Again, just exploring in the early part of the shot clock. They have a license to do that, the Kings. Advance the ball, and before everything gets set, slap on the early drag screen, and Dejan Vasiljevic just probing, seeing what he can find down low. Gets Keanu Pinder to stand up a little with the hezi, finishes through the contact.
He's great at getting downhill left. He'll come off ball screens and try and get downhill to that left hand and finish right. He does such a great job of getting into paint and creating shots for himself to be able to get to the free throw line and get to those little mid-range jumpers that he does as well.
This is where things might get a little interesting for the Taipans. When Pinder goes off the floor, Wardenberg slides to the 5, undersized 5. They've got Majuk Deng at the 4. Meanwhile, the Kings, they're quite big right now. Hunter, big, strong body at the 5. Xavier Cook's back out on the floor, the premier power forward in the league. Can they take advantage down low?
Here's Wardenberg getting around, and Hunter comes from the weak side to swat that. Galloway's out there, kept the handle momentarily somehow. Deng took it away, spots up for 3, can't get it to go. Cooks is back the other way after a frenetic little passage. He takes it right into Deng, who takes it away from him. They fight for the loose ball, and it'll go to the Snakes. Xavier Cook's not pleased with the call.
That was a really good job from Deng. Just walled up, made sure he didn't foul, and then at the last moment, just with his fingertips, got a piece of it.
A 6-point Kings lead. McCall's going to have a chance to cut back into that. Left alone and then tipped home inside by Wardenberg.
Wow, they have their 5 guarding Tajir and trying to just make him shoot jump shots.
And now the offensive foul as Galloway spins his way into Tajir McCall.
Well, they're going to let him shoot that all night long.
Yeah.
X to Jim McCall. Here's the defense. Here's what he does extremely well. Picks the spot. Made sure he drew the whistle, but he's 1 of 14 from 3 on the season coming in to Jim McCall. Now it's 1 of 15. Of course, that one was a buzzer beater from way downtown the other night. So he has not shown an ability to knock it down, and that's why Jordan Hunter has that matchup. And they're much smarter from McCall. Takes up the space, goes over the top with the floater.
Exactly like you said, taking up that space, getting to an area on the court where he's extremely comfortable, where he can play at the rim, and those little floaters, 5 feet, that allow him to be effective.
So back to a 1-score game.
1 and 2. You got a block. Bonus 2.
Foul going on McCall.
Together. I tripped him. Yeah, but his other man tripped me. Yeah, but
so trips all around according to Tajir.
Then he's on the floor attacking the rim. I gotta make the call. Okay.
Yes. In his words, he tripped, and then he was the tripper. Cooks will go to the line to shoot 2. Opening 6 points for the Kings of this ball game for Xavier Cooks. Adds his 7th there. Makes it look easy from the stripe. Air, Scott, Deng, Wardenberg, McCall out there for the Taipans. Sean Bruce getting a little physical on defense. McCall makes the move inside, lost the handle, taken away. And the Kings can hold for the last possession of the opening frame.
They're going to go to a 5-1 ball screen. DJ's going to come up here and set one for...
4 on the clock for Cooks, who rumbles inside, and he's called for the offensive foul.
Well, that's the action you're talking about. They wanted to bring Shannon Scott into that as the defender. But the Taipans are doing a great job executing the scout, sitting off Xavier Cooks.
Yep.
No one's up in his stuff out there. They're saying, you want to shoot the 3, go right ahead. Same as how you're defending Tajir McCall down the other end. So they walled up, took away the driving lane, and Cooks picks up his 2nd personal.
McCall goes the quarterback outlet pass to Wardenberg. Oh! Turnaround! Sam Wardenberg!
Wow.
That is wonderful! What a way to beat the quarter-time buzzer. The full-court pass, the turnaround heave. And the Snakes narrow the gap to 1. Heading into quarter-time. The Kings 24, the Snakes 23. And it ended on this from the big man to narrow the gap to 1 right into quarter-time. Quarter time at the Cairns Convention Centre. Some fireworks in the opening period. Not too much separating these two teams in their two meetings so far this season. DJ Ho got going. Tajir McCall able to get Majuk Deng into the action. And then right at quarter time, a buzzer beater to Sam Wardenberg. And they've been disruptive when they've been at their best so far this season.
They are. They've ramped up their pressure at the end there. Look at that. First in steals, the Taipans. First in blocks. First in forcing turnovers. Their opponents throwing 16 per game. So they're a long, athletic, and late in that quarter, they just started to ramp up the pressure a little bit. A couple of steals, Sydney 5 first quarter turnovers.
Think of them more for their offense than defense, but third in defensive rating so far this season, doing a good job on that end of the floor. McCall had knocked off the rim by Cooks to start this second period. We go into it with 1 point the spread. A little bit what we've come to expect between these two teams throughout the course of NBL 23. Great to have you with us. Monday Night Hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Sam Wardenberg's got 7 for the Snakes. Xavier Cooks with 8 in the opening period. Sijovic can't get it to go from downtown. McCall makes a move inside. Likes the matchup with Bruce. Spins his way, hangs and hits. And a little bit of a flex from Tajir.
You seen he had a mismatch down there. He went straight to the block, and like I said,
take a look at the Amy replay here as he spins his way to the hoop.
Yeah, Tajir he's a bigger guard, a big point guard, and when he sees he has a mismatch, he's going to try and get down to that low block and get to spots where he can be highly effective.
What you know he's going to do down there is spin.
Spin, exactly.
When he puts the ball on the deck, he's always going to spin. And the Kings were able to force 1 turnover off that. He picks up the foul there. There again, you see the Taipans up the floor, doubling in the backcourt, just speeding the game up, speeding the Kings up, forcing the turnover.
Adam Ford's talked a little bit this year about how the offense is beautiful chaos, and they sort of, it's the same mantra they're playing with defensively at times as well. I don't mind to mix it up and keep the opposition guessing. Ben Air getting a little bit of extended run at the start of this one. McCall beyond the three-point line. Shannon Scott throws it into the foot of McCall. Ricochets away to Wardenberg. Red numbers on the shot clock. He gets inside and has it knocked away. So 2.8 on the inbound here for the Snakes. 1-4 at home this season, the second worst home record in the competition. Underneath, McCall, nice pass to Air, who just couldn't get the layup to go. But just what they wanted off the inbound. Brooks now forces it inside. Goes left hand off the glass and tells the crowd all about it.
It's a beautiful move by Cooks. One dribble right, spin back left.
Tied at 26. Scott and Deng combine on the perimeter. Now back to Air. Wardenberg slipped the screen, didn't end up with it. Bounce pass to Shannon Scott. Rattles out. Scooped up by Simon. 0 of 3 from the field so far is Shannon Scott. Big impact at the point guard position for the Taipans so far this year, and another turnover forced by the Taipans defense as they come downhill on the offensive end. Tied at 26. Wardenberg steps outside, can't connect. Let's go courtside to Jenna O'Hay.
Yeah, I was in the Kings quarter-time huddle, and Chase was really disappointed defensively. He thinks they could be up by 10 if it weren't for a couple of really silly breakdowns. Offensively, he was pretty happy. He said whenever they move the ball, they can get layups whenever they want.
He's talking there about the Cairns pressure. He's saying, look, if they're going to fly around, try to double and try to get in the passing lanes, if you can protect the ball and you move it well, you can get easy buckets behind that defense. But the problem is they've been turning it over. That's 7 turnovers now, 2 early in this quarter. When the Taipans beat the Kings back in round 3, they forced Sydney into 18 turnovers that game, and Buford was lamenting all those mishaps post-game.
And another one here. Kroll diving on the floor. Pinder coming downhill, trying to soar for the emphatic dunk. And a turnover on the offensive end for the Snakes this time. The defense is active, and again McCall pokes it away. Scott's in the open floor. Can't get it to go.
Wow.
Adam Ford pleading for the call on the sideline.
Slow it down here, get the ball to D-Walt. Get into something good, get a great shot.
Shooting at 31% to start here, and that is a beautiful shot. Underneath the hoop X, and Justin Simon, that's easy money.
He's the guy that settles their offense. He's the guy that, you know, when things get a little bit hectic, NBA experience, a guy that knows what he's doing, get the ball to him, put him in pick and roll, and allow him to be really good down the stretch for him.
Third lead change of the evening. It's become a bit of a theme when these two sides play. Scott to McCall, looks off the 3, makes it home. Nice touch.
Really nice touch. Beautiful kiss off the glass from Tajir McCall.
You're going to run him off the three-point line. He can do that every time. Adam Ford will be very happy. So tied at 28 once more. Walton sticks the jump shot from mid-range.
You go back-to-back plays from Walton Jr.
Exactly. Put the ball in his hands and just allow him to settle your offense. He's gonna get a great shot for himself. He's gonna or he'll get a great shot for somebody else. He's, like I said, he's their point guard. He's their leader. He's the guy that they look to in tough times.
So 2-point lead to the Kings, of course. Last time they met, Kouat Noi was so much of the story, hitting that buzzer beater on his birthday. We're going to learn a little bit more about him at halftime. Here's a sneak peek.
Really had to grind and, you know, make it through state teams, make it through representing Australia, and, you know, just being given opportunities to play college basketball. I feel like I'm destined, you know, to put South Sudan on the map, and that's my mission in life, and I'm going to accomplish that.
He's a colourful character, and he's been an excitement machine for the Kings, no more than what he did last time when they played the Cairns Taipans, Leo.
Yeah, on his birthday against his former team, a team that decided to move on from him over the off-season, so he would have loved knocking down that shot. And what a memorable moment that was from the season thus far, lapping up the love from the Sydney faithful. And tonight, his first time back in far north Queensland, up against his old team, the Snakes, and trying to get another win.
We'll hear more from Kouat Noi in our halftime feature.
Nothing better as a player than being able to play against your former team and hit a big shot like that.
The walk-off buzzer beater to win it in the home venue. There was a bit late into that, and then 25th birthday added into it all. It was a night to remember for Kouat Noi, that is for sure. Kings haven't been strangers to walk-off buzzer beaters this season either.
That's right, Sean Bruce last week. And Taipans, they really haven't been able to get DJ Hogue involved all that much. Jenna highlighted it off the top how important it is to try to get him going really quiet against New Zealand. He's just got these 5 first half points, 1 of 5 from the field.
Outside, Qual to try and beat the buzzer. Can't get it to go. Noi pulls down the rebound. Let's check in with Jenna courtside. Jenna, you had a listen to Chase Buford at the timeout.
I did. Again, he was really disappointed in the defensive breakdowns, especially running McCall off the three-point line. That is not part of their scout. He said they were getting lucky with all the turnovers. He said to take care of the ball, but they're getting back, well, not on that one, but getting back well on defensive transition, so keep that up. But he did say they were getting lucky with some of those easy buckets that the Cairns Taipans have been missing.
Great to have the former Australian Opals captain, 3-time WNBL champion Jenna O'Hea with us as part of our coverage this evening as Glover sticks the triple from long range.
Such a great pass by D-Walt. Had to switch Pinder onto him.
Nice hop step from Pinder.
He's giving him trouble. Back-to-back buckets at the rim from Pinder. Suarez sitting in the middle of the lane, waiting for Pinder to arrive at the rim, and Keanu's getting downhill off the bounce.
It's tough to play Pinder like that, where you give him space where he can get a full head of steam coming downhill at you. He's extremely tough to guard, but it's like, what do? Do you take away that three and give that to him, or do you allow him to come full speed at you and try and make him shoot tough shots?
9 on the night so far for Pinder. Ties us away again at 33. Kings led by 7 in that opening period. Let's go courtside to Jenna once more.
Yeah, I had an interview with Keanu Pinder before the game, and I mentioned that tweet to him, and he said he wants all the smoke, and he definitely let the Kings players know about it on that last possession. And here he goes again.
See what he can do this time, Jenna. Turns inside, he's fouled on the way through. He'll step to the line and try and hand the Snakes back the lead.
He's flowing with confidence right now. You can see he has these stretches, Pinder. He had one against you guys, earlier in the season at John Cain Arena, where he just feels, you know what, they can't handle me. They can't handle me off the bounce. As soon as I get in the paint, I'll be able to make a read and either get to the free throw line or get my head on the rim.
Yeah, and he has such a high motor. He doesn't get tired. He keeps coming at you, and a miss doesn't discourage him. If he misses one, he's going to try and get another one. And those are the type of players that are extremely tough to guard. When you have a sense of confidence that the next one's always going in, you become really dangerous.
Sticks a couple at the stripe. Makes it a 2-point game. Way off the Taipans. Trailed by 1 at quarter time. Glover can't get the 3 to go. Pinder and Cooks engage in a wrestle for the rebound. Foul going on Pinder.
His second personal. Probably a little unnecessary. That was bouncing over his head and kind of got wrapped up a little bit there with Xavier Cooks, but just needs to be careful now. Don't want to pick another one up here before halftime.
Hunter back into the game for the Kings. Sijovic, Glover, Cook and Walton out there alongside the big man. Cook's turnaround can't go. Pinda pulls down the rebound, comes straight downhill. Hogue to Wardenberg, and wide open is Shannon Scott. Can't get it to go. Good look for the Taipans. 35-33. Kings whipping around on the offensive end. Vasiljevic steps into the mid-range jump shot. Tied again at 35.
Pull up.
Here's Hogue trying to get involved. That's a long way short. Full court outlet pass and the open dunk for Cooks. Big fist pump. And Adam Ford's seen enough. Timeout Cairns. Kings back ahead by 2.
He had a good look, DJ Hogue, but they just didn't get back. Pinder didn't read it, that Cooks was emptying out. And that's easy pickings for Cooks above the rim.
He just continues to get better to Xavier Cooks. He's already up to 12 points this evening after scoring the first 6 of the game here for the Kings on his return from injury. He's such a big part of that championship team last year, such a big part of everything for the Kings when his coach thinks there might yet be bigger things ahead of him.
More film of what he did last year is hopefully that just ends up on the right desk at some point and he gets his opportunity, because he's shown now that when he's healthy and firing, like, he's an elite player and capable of playing in any league in the world. I hope at some point he gets an opportunity, and we'll do everything we can to continue to push him to explore that stuff. As long as he's wearing a Kings uniform, we'll be fired up to help get him the rock and help him guard on the other end too.
So his coach thinks that he can play in the NBA. Do you think he can get to that level, Liam? Or is he at that level already?
I'd love to see it. He's an NBA level athlete. He has NBA level skills in terms of handling the ball, making plays off the bounce. And we know he can defend at a really high level as well. It's really just his ability to knock down the perimeter shot. I think that's denied him that opportunity to this point. Because, you know, at his size on an NBA floor, you're going to find yourself in the corner. And you're going to need to be spacing the floor. So that's been the focus for his development, and he's been working on it. I feel like that's probably the one question mark at that NBA level that sits above his head.
As Pinder makes a strong move to the basket and gets the locals excited.
Yeah, I mean, if he can shoot it as well as he shot it against us at John Cain that one night, he's definitely an NBA player. But obviously his skill set is unbelievable. His ability to push and grab rebounds on the defensive end and push in transition is at an elite level. If once that jumper comes, I definitely think he has the ability to be an NBA player.
You know, the challenge for Cooks as well is to let it fly.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to shoot. He's actually shot 40% from 3 so far this season, but on a really small volume, just 6 of 15. But I think the stroke has improved, and it's just about taking that confidence from the practice floor into game night, and when he's left open, letting that thing fly and showing he can knock it down.
Vasiljevic to Cooks. Couldn't get that one to go. Pinder. The outlet pass to Scott. 5 lead changes in his second term. Cairns by 1 as Pinder makes a move to the hoop. He's fouled on the way through.
Go basket. 21 white. Get on the arm.
Kouat Noi picking up the personal.
Again, Pinder's just in that mode right now. Here he is cleaning the defensive glass, then sprints the lane. And early screen, catches it down low, and he's just a force of nature down there right now. 14 points, a game high, and the Sydney Kings are going to chat about how to handle Keanu Pinder down low.
He gets in and out of those screens so well. And his ability to just get to the level, slip out of them, and then put you at a disadvantage on the back end of your defense.
14 and 6 so far for Keanu Pinder, who's been outstanding. Just providing so much energy for this Taipans outfit.
And I love the fact that he stays in his lane for the most part. Now, he knows where he's going to have success. Adam Ford's done a great job of telling him, look, you are one of the best in the league in these types of situations, attacking off the bounce, off elbow catches. post touches, being able to make moves around the rim, and then rolling out of pick and roll or dribble handoffs. And look at there, you see the shot chart. It's needs a little catching up because he's got 14 now, and he's had a couple more buckets than what's on display right there. But you see all the action right around the rim, and so he's doing exactly what he knows he can have success with.
Big theme for Keanu Pinder in this second term. 10 of his 14 coming in the second frame. Cairns by 1. It's a great example, I guess, the counterpoint to the Cooks conversation. X is maybe some focus on what Xavier Cooks can't do in terms of stepping back that 3, but Adam Ford focuses on what Keanu Pinder can do and plays to those strengths.
Yeah, he does. And you know, when you play against Cairns, you hear Adam Ford consistently yelling at Pinder to shoot the ball as well. He's given him the green light to be able to do those things, and you'll start to see that develop with him coming soon.
He splits them at the line. 2-point lead to the Taipans. Haven't had it at any greater margin than that so far in the ball game. Cooks makes the move. He's fouled on the way through. 39-37, the way of the stakes. 5-point winners the first time these two teams met in Sydney were Cairns, and then, of course, Sydney getting it done 106-103. Josh Davey checking in for the Taipans, replacing Sam Wardenberg.
Tough matchup for Wardenberg, especially after picking up your second foul on Xavier Cooks, who's in attack mode. So they've still got a foul to give the Taipans. And Adam Ford throws in Josh Davey, who has 5 fouls to give if necessary.
Looked like he was prepared to use all of them, and Cooks still managed to slide his way past.
Of course, he's hesitant to slide Keanu Pinder back across to that matchup because he's got 2 fouls of his own.
Can't afford to pick up that third before halftime. He means too much to this team.
Scott with the head fake. Hogue with 5 points, gets the elbow, rattles out. He'll go to the line. Adam Ford looks like he's still keen to have DJ Hogan very much involved in the offense, X.
Yeah, he's gonna, DJ Hogue is gonna see a lot of touches. He's going to be involved in a lot of their actions. They're going to put him in pick and roll situations. They're going to spot him up. They're going to bring him off quick actions. He is a big-time scorer for this offense and for this team, and they need him to score the ball early and often.
Second in the NBL for minutes. Coming into the round playing 33 a game, DJ Hogue. Got plenty of time to be involved in. Now foul, Glover. Pinder's going to go to the line with the Kings in the penalty. Keanu Pinder with 15 already, 6 rebounds to go along with that. Cooks pacing the Kings with 14, as you'd expect. The star bigs on either end getting it done for their respective teams. Pinder misses the first of 2.
What's been huge for this Cairns defense is you'll see here is Qual is going to pick up Derek Walton full court, 94 feet. He's going to make it extremely tough on him. He is their guy that they put on point guards to, you know, be the head and the snake of this defense.
Looks outside to Walton. You see Qual scamper across to him, as you mentioned, X. Fights through the screen of Noi. 3 ball from Walton won't go. What do you think they like about what Qual brings to the table defensively?
Man, he's big, he's athletic. He does a good job of moving his feet and being extremely physical. And that's what they love.
Pinder for 3, can't get it to go. Rebound number 5 for Cooks. 2-point ball game as we tick down toward half-time. Cooks comes flying down the lane. Lays it in and will step to the line to add the bonus and hand the Kings back the lead.
Beautiful pass from Vasiljevic. Just turned the corner off that staggered ball screen, the handoff from Bruce, and then Cooks, the roll man, Little pocket pass, put it right on the spot.
So 5 lead changes in the quarter already. Make it 6 as Xavier Cooks hands Sydney back the advantage. Back and forth affair. Chase Buford barking the instructions to his team. Only championship coach in the NBL. Snakes go straight to Hogue on the block. Back out to Scott. Back to Hogue working on Vasiljevic. Back out to Scott for 3. Won't go. DJ keeps it alive. Qual for 3. You bet. Bull Qual can line it up from downtown. Makes it a 7th lead change of the quarter. Vasiljevic works inside. Floater won't go. Davey fights for the rebound. Eventually it's snared by Wardenberg. Trailed by 1 at quarter time, did the Taipans beat the buzzer through Sam Wardenberg to narrow the gap to that single point. Shannon Scott keen to slow things down here. Davey to Qual, almost the turnover. Qual in the corner, won't go. Wardenberg crashes the offensive glass. The Snakes are all in there, fighting for the rebound. And they think that it should stay at their end.
Jeez, they had a few bites at the cherry, didn't they? All of them, a bunch of pogo sticks, trying to tip that thing back in. Here it is, bounces off the rim. And Qual, the previous possession there, great tap out. And here's Wardenberg, Davey, Hogue, everybody having a go to tip that thing in. Ball's going the way of the Kings.
So 6.5 seconds remaining. Kings down by 2. Cairns beat the buzzer in the opening quarter. Sean Bruce races his way up the floor, can't get it to go. Cooks can at the horn. He can't believe it's been waved off. DJ Vasiljevic saying, let's take a look at it. And the referee's keen to move things along.
Well, that was the first effort, didn't go down. Watch for the red light. In his hands, in his hands.
That is extremely close.
That is extremely close. I think that's going to count.
I think it's going to count too.
So 44-42 at the half. And that's the score as we go to the break. Let's get downstairs to Jenna.
Hello, great half of basketball and giving plenty to cheer about this crowd.
Yeah, it's a good game. I mean, that's what you expect with the top teams in the league, so it's been a good battle.
And so great to see you back on court. You've missed a fair bit of basketball, but it looks like you're starting to get back into rhythm.
Yeah. I'm still taking a couple games to get in the rhythm, but I'm excited to be out there with the gang. They've been cheering me on and supporting me, so it's good to be back out there.
And what's it going to take to give this home crowd a win in the second half?
Defense and rebounds. Everything starts with defense. We got to play some defense and rebound.
Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So Cairns by 2 as we get to the half. As we go, let's learn a little bit more about Kouat Noi. And knocking it in is Kouat Noi.
I've always had confidence in myself since I was a young kid. Just a young kid from Newcastle, you know. You have to get it out the mud, really. Small city, really have to grind and, make it through state teams, make it through representing Australia, and, just being given opportunities to play college basketball. I feel like I'm destined, to put South Sudan on the map, and that's my mission in life, and I'm going to accomplish it.
Swift precision as Noi rolls it home.
And now I've got a daughter now, so that's what keeps me motivated, so that even just take it to a whole nother level. Everything I do is for her. She's the biggest part of my life right now. If I just sit back and just give up on myself, the dreams won't happen. So I gotta keep getting up, keep getting better every day. I signed with the Cairns Taipans, my first professional season. Did really good.
Noi is playing like a man who's trying to inspire his team.
Then, unfortunately, injuries started to happen.
That's a nasty, nasty fall for Kouat Noi. He's in severe discomfort at the moment.
0.9 on the clock here. Here's Bruce to Noi, the birthday boy.
I'm more focused than I've ever been in my life.
Oh my goodness! It's a birthday to remember for Kouat Noi!
Man, I got big dreams, really. I got big dreams.
You couldn't write it any better. Former side turns 25 and sticks the dagger into the heart of the Snakes.
So a 2-point lead to the Cairns Taipans at halftime. Monday night hoops from the Cairns Convention Centre. They trailed at quarter time, but 6 lead changes in that second period, and the Cairns hold a narrow edge as we go to halftime. Joel Peterson with you, joined courtside by Jenna O'Hea. Jenna, it's been a pretty high-octane game, plenty of lead changes and plenty of excitement.
It really has been. It's a great environment here tonight, and it's no surprise that these two teams are having a close battle. I think it's been really fun. Both teams getting out in transition, scoring super fast. That was a beautiful shot on the quarter time buzzer by Sam Wardenberg, which brought the house down. And yeah, this is a fun first half, and I can't wait for the second half.
If history's any guide, it'll just continue being a little bit of fun as well as we go throughout the course of the night. Last time, of course, they met. A buzzer beater decided it. Xavier Cook's getting out in the open court. He's got 17 at half-time. Keanu Pinder with 16. In far as the numbers go, Jenna, I guess the Kings 1 of 10 from downtown. A little bit surprising.
It is, but you know, they get out in transition. They've been able to score 42 points at the half, so I think they'll be pretty happy with that. Chase Buford, I'm sure in the halftime huddle, will be talking about defense. Every time out I was in, he was talking about how disappointed he was in those defensive breakdowns. I'm really interested to see how many minutes Xavier Cooks plays in this game. Pre-game when I was talking to him, he said he'd probably be on limited minutes, around 20. He's already at almost 13 minutes. It'll be interesting to see how many he plays in this second half, because as we see, he's absolutely killing it.
Promising start for the Taipans, up by 2. Let's head to Liam and X at the analyzer.
We've got to talk a little DJ Hogue. He's kind of the sleeping giant in this game so far. Just 6 points. This is a guy who had 27 on the Kings earlier this season, and Jenna pointed it out pre-game how important it is to try to get him going.
Huge for him. They're going to put him in a lot of actions. They need him to be a big-time scorer for this team.
Let's look at a couple of things the Taipans have done thus far to try to get DJ Hogue open. Here, X, they try to slap on a screen for him in transition.
Yeah, traditionally you would normally see a high drag to be able to get to Jim McCall downhill. But what they do here is they send Pinder away into a quick action to where he can get a step-in 3 right at the three-point line.
They're just trying to find something for DJ Hogue early in that offense. And then if it's not early, eventually from time to time they try to put him in some ball screen actions.
Yeah, they do this a lot. They're going to put him in high ball screen actions. He's a big-time creator and a shot maker for him. Obviously here they reverse it. It comes back to Pinder, and then they're going to put him in a high pick-and-roll ball screen here with a single side tag. And you see Kouat Noi in a big drop here. Sydney wants to give up mid-range shots, but he's an elite mid-range shooter.
And so if DJ Hogue sees that kind of coverage, we know he's going to get off that ball screen and go up into his shot, and there he draws the foul. Now the question for the Taipans is, can they continue to create open looks for DJ Hogue in this second half?
Well, he's going to be a big part of what they do. They lead by 2 at half-time. As we know, this season, with thanks to Latrobe Financial, we're giving away a guaranteed $50,000. Let's see some of the great entries that have rolled in so far across the course of the competition. Plenty of great stuff happening. Indoors, outdoors, all from half court. Competition you can get involved with throughout the course of the season.
So a couple of teams in the top 3 and NBL23 as we close out round 8 on Monday Night Hoops. So far it has delivered 2 points the spread at half-time, 44-42 the Taipans and the Kings. Liam and Xavier, a lot of the scoring, a lot of the loads being shouldered by these two men, Keanu Pinder and Xavier Cooks.
The two star bigs involved in the game tonight. Two of the star bigs in the league. Throw Derek Pardon, Mitch Creek, those kind of guys in there as well. But yeah, 16 points for Pinder, 17 for Cooks, both at nearly 60% from the field.
Both doing great jobs for their respective teams. They look to see them ultra aggressive in this second half. It's going to start and finish with them, and whoever can be dominant and keep this consistency going through this game is probably going to be the one that comes out on top.
The lone double-figure scorers for each of their two teams so far in this ball game are the two featured players as we come out of the second half. Cairns beat the buzzer at quarter time. Xavier Cooks had a buzzer beater waved off before half-time. Almost a turnover to start this second half for the Snakes. Only had the 4 turnovers in that opening half. Did a good job of looking after the ball, especially compared to the 9 of the Kings.
Well, it's so key against this Sydney lineup. We know how much they want to run. As we said off the top, these two teams, first and second in pace, want to get up and down the floor. So if you cough it up, you give them opportunity, especially live ball turnovers, give them a chance to run and make plays. You're in for a long night.
Wardenberg, couple of head fakes, then launches the triple off the back of the iron.
Hope to see Derek Walton here a little bit more aggressive. Hopefully they get him in some actions, allow him to get some touches, put him in some ball screen actions where he can create for himself and create for other guys as well.
Cooks went bumping off the back of Hogue on that play. The 6 points for Walton in the opening half. Now Cooks just taking a hit. Right in the bread basket. Sijovic, and now ball will go the way of the Taipans.
And there's that 10th turnover. No doubt Chase Buford would have been talking about that turnover count at halftime, and that time Scott does enough just to get his hand in there to blow up that dribble handoff.
Uncharacteristic for the Kings. We think of them as such a steady team. Good decision making, always in control. Pass from Scott bounces off the foot inside.
This is what the Taipans do too. We talk a lot about teams and their styles offensively, but likewise at the defensive end, you've got some teams like Tassie who are a grinded out defensive squad, but a group like the Taipans are more about disruption.
They are. They're gonna get up the floor. They're gonna be disruptive. They want to put you in tough situations, and then they want to capitalize off of it. So, like you were talking about, those live ball turnovers aren't the turnovers you want. If you're going to turn the ball over against them, hopefully it can be dead ball turnovers where you can set your defense back up against them. If you get live ball turnovers, it plays right into their hands. They're able to get out in transition and shoot a ton of threes, which is what they love to do.
Number 1 in the competition, shoot the most threes in the competition as Pinder makes his move to the hoop and gets fouled on the way there.
It's interesting with their three-point shooting, the Taipans, because you're right, they are first in three-point attempts. They're only 9th in three-point percentage. They're shooting around 32%. So they get a whole bunch up. They have some games where they really catch fire and have some stretches where they catch fire. But they haven't been lights out from out there. And you look today, yeah, they've had 20 three-point attempts, but they knocked down 4 of them. 20% from long range, but they have that guy in Keanu Pinder and another in Tajir McCall who mix it up and put some heat on the rim.
Exactly. They have a little bit of both, and that's what makes them so scary is their ability to go on these runs where they hit 4, 5, 6 threes. And, but like you said, they have guys that are able to mix it up for them and get in the paint and create a lot of havoc.
Off the hand of Suarez right at the last minute then, the last second. Chase Buford. I wonder what he's trying to say to the referees. Maybe there was a bit of contact there according to the Kings coach. He's still going. He's going to have a horrible dead arm by the time he's done. That thing will be purple tomorrow. Wardenberg splashes in the 3 that came after the whistle.
Chase. Normal. Normal. Hey, normal. Warning given. Warning. Go.
And a warning.
Yes.
On Chase Buford. Here he is.
he's a gift maker.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He's still going. It's like whack-a-mole. Just chiseling away his forearm. He'll be on the physio bench after the game tonight. Make room for the players, Chase. Walton can't get it to go. Kinder knocked it out, and then off the hands of Suarez. Last touch again. Having a great time of it the last couple of moments, the big fella, in terms of his handle. So slower start offensively to this period. Only the 1 point scored by the Taipans so far as Hogue makes his way to the line with a strong move inside.
This is what we were talking about at half-time. Finding ways from the Taipans' perspective, getting DJ Hogue involved at the offensive end.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly like we talked about. They're going to put him in that high pick and roll. Sydney is gonna switch this and veer right off and allow him to go downhill at Xavier Cooks and see if they can pick up another foul, which they just did.
So plenty of lead changes in this game already. We had 6 in that second period alone. Through it all, the Kings' biggest lead was 7. It was 8 to 15.
Listen up.
Cairns haven't led by more than 3.
Cooks, the basket before, the footage occurred, basket counted. So you're going to have extra plus. What? The footage. Footage? The footage. Footage? Yes, of you tapping counts. So the basket's there, we just have it now.
So there you go, live look inside.
They just counted that.
All right. Where's this
Xavier Cooks, so this is from before half-time.
So why did it take so long? They had the entire half-time. X and I, it took us...
Have they gone through people's phones at half-time to get some video footage or something?
We had this angle here, bang. We slowed it down frame by frame. There was no frame that showed the red light on with Cooks and his hand touching the ball.
We all sort of looked at each other when it got waved off. And
how is this something that they fixed 2 minutes into the third quarter?
Well, I'm being told maybe there was a syncing issue with the clocks. Now, I get a sinking feeling about that explanation. But in the end, the basket counts, and we've got a 1 point game.
Hogue misses the first of 2. So they haven't led by more than 3, Cairns. And that's now back down to 1. DJ Hogue keeps it there. And now, is that a lane violation? It is. There's a bit happening for the referees at the moment. DJ Hogue's going to have another chance to make it a 2 point game. Same result. Cooks taps it off the rim, doesn't go. We stay at 45-44 after all that.
Good little reminder down there, bottom right of your screen, that historic, greatest road winning streak of all time on the line.
Incredible. As Vasiljevic gets inside and hands the Kings back the lead now. Hogue almost loses control of it. Kinder in attack mode. Back out to Hogue. Deep. Can't get it to go.
This is where Sydney is very tough. Xavier grabs the ball off the rim and pushing in the break.
Vasiljevic almost
a great shot.
Almost stuck it. Kinder thought about the 3, maybe for a moment. It's a 4-0 run of sorts for Sydney. Even though the other bucket came before the half-time buzzer as Hogue gets inside. Suarez combines with Vasiljevic to control the rebound. Cooks now to DJ. Back to Cooks, out to Walton. Little jab step on Wardenberg. Keen to go to work. Lines up the triple and cans it.
Tough. Extremely tough. And he's a guy that they need to get going. They need him to be effective from an assist standpoint. They need him to be effective in scoring. And obviously he's there their leader. And like I said, the guy that settles them down.
Amy replay of Walton getting involved from downtown.
Sided him up, didn't he? A couple of jab steps, rises up. Nothing but nylon.
All of a sudden, the lead's out to 9, or to 4, I should say, for the Kings. With a couple of buckets out of the gates at half-time. For a slow start to this third period for both teams offensively. Walton working on Quoll. Steps inside out to Simon in the corner. Drives baseline, swatted by Wardenberg. Takes it away on the defensive end for the Snakes. Home side 1 and 4 in their own venue this season. Sydney come in 5 and zip when travelling. Pinder lines up the triple. Too strong.
It's a great defensive possession. That's a shot that you want and that you'll live with at the end of the clock. And Pinder shooting that one.
Suarez coming downhill and taken away. Shannon Scott with a hand in there.
Wardenberg, the last line of defense. Blocks the shot, strips that one away. But at the other end, the Sydney defense standing tall.
It's racing up and down the floor at the moment. Kouat Noi with the finish. Pushes it out to a 6-point lead for the Kings.
Good timeout from Adam Ford. They cannot get anything happening at the offensive end. Trying to force the issue, driving into the wall, and then the Kings off to the races. Timeout, Cairns. They trail by 6.
It's a little bit of work to do at the timeout for Adam Ford and his Taipans crew. Highlighted DJ Hogue at halftime in terms of what he can produce. He spoke pre-season about adjusting to the NBL and some of the other leagues that he's played in, including France and, of course, in the G League.
G League very fast-paced, a lot of spacing, up-tempo per se. I'd say it's a little more selfish in the G League versus team ball, but it's so much space. It's almost better to be selfish sometimes. It's more of a one-on-one game. France was more of a team game. Paint was packed, felt a little bit more. Teams put more emphasis on winning in France. The way we look to play, it seems to be very fast, almost on pace with the G League. However, there's the defense at 3 seconds here, so we'll see as when you drive to the paint, if there's a guy just there waiting for you, but I'm excited to play over here.
Well, we're excited to have him here, and he talks about whether someone will be there waiting for him in the paint. They are there tonight, waiting for the Taipans as they attack the rim, and they have really struggled to get things going in this third quarter. Remember, it was 44 all at halftime, so 1 point scored for Cairns in the first 5 minutes of this third term.
Adjusting to do of their own. In terms of how you went about that, as Quoll knocks in a three-pointer, coming from the United States system and playing internationally and then adjusting to the NBL. How did you go about it? How did you make that transition?
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment. The rules are different. Like he talked about there's no defensive three, so the spacing's always going to be different. But the NBL has done a great job of, really emulating the NBA in terms of style of play and their pace. And I think for DJ, he's been playing such great basketball and at such a high level. There's going to be a little bit of adjustment now. Now he's on the top of scouting reports, and teams are going to really key in on him and try and make his life extremely difficult. And once he figures out that adjustment, and once he figured out the type of coverages that he's going to see on a night in and night out basis, I think that he'll get back to playing extremely high level basketball and start shooting the ball at a high level.
I can't imagine he's going to be in a slump for too long. Even if he is, he can probably shoot his way out of it. Kouat Noi at the line. Seeing the lower part of your screen, 7 of their last 8 here at the Snake Pit for the Kings.
There's a couple of guys now, one on for each of these teams, sitting on the bench, grabbing a rest right now, having a bit of a think about how they might be able to get going in the fourth quarter. Hogue is one of them, 6 points, having a really rough night. He's 2 for 16 from 3 now over his last 3 games. The other one's Dejan Vasiljevic, who he's dropped a couple of dimes and knocked in a couple of mid-range, but he's now 0 for 4 from 3 after 0 from 8 the other night as McCall slips behind the D to finish at the rim.
Just staying in touching distance at the moment. The Taipans keeping themselves right in it, and they force a turnover as well. McCall the other way, takes it all the way.
That is tough. A little look off to the Euro step.
Crafty move from Tajir McCall. And Chase Buford doesn't like what he sees from his Kings team.
What a great response out of the timeout. The qual 3, McCall underneath, and then the turnover. Gets his hands into the lane, and as you say, tough finish in transition. We're all tied up. Timeout Kings.
It's got so many weapons in transition, don't they, X? You mentioned it earlier, when you create that turnover and they don't get a chance to get the defense set, it's almost good night when the Taipans are coming at you.
And like we talked about in the first half with Justin Simon and his ability to cut off the ball, knowing he isn't a great shooter, Tajir does such a great job of the same thing. You know, he knows he's not a deep corner spot up guy. He's gonna cut off the ball. He's gonna create opportunities for himself to put his head on the rim and be effective in the paint.
See the passion in the timeout too. Plenty of intensity in this game. Show exactly what it means. Tajir McCall so active in those Taipans timeouts. Of course, he coached a game in the NBL Blitz. Adam Ford took a back seat. Didn't go all that well, unfortunately, for him.
They know how much this is a big game for them. You know, it was a real test coming into this weekend. Playing the top 2 teams, both at home. New Zealand comes in, beats them. And then here come the Sydney Kings, top of the table, defending champs. You have that confidence of knowing, you know what, we beat them once at their place. We had them the second time around with just a couple of seconds to go. Some desperation about this Cairns squad to split this weekend and stay inside that top 3.
They led at the half, all square after the Kings pushed the lead out to 6 here in this second period. In the third period, as Walton knocks down a triple, and he's really starting to heat up now, is Derek Walton Jr. Three-point lead to Sydney. What have the Snakes got on the other end? McCall spin move. Beautiful.
Talked about, right? That downhill to the spin. You know, that's a scouting report thing with him. He's extremely athletic. When he gets to that spin, he's tough to guard.
Gets to it so quickly. He's rapid with that footwork. He's Tajir McCall, such a crafty operator. Having a nice night with 15 points. Adam Ford, apoplectic on the sideline. Incensed that there was no call there, as Galloway, who had 10 last time these two sides met, puts his name on the score sheet this evening. Hunter, Glover, Galloway, Walton Jr. and Noi out there for the Kings. Deng fires the 3, can't get it to go. He's out there with Scott, McCall, Pinder and Qual for the Taipans.
And with Cooks out, expect to see Walton featured in this offense. He's gonna take it. He's gonna shoot a lot of these shots for this Kings team with Xavier Cooks on the bench.
Doing just that at the moment. Home fans don't like the call there. Now Walton takes a seat for Bruce.
What makes it interesting as far as the lineup is concerned for the Kings? No Cooks, no Vasiljevic, now no Walton Jr. on the floor. So it's an entire bench group.
Where do you go for your offense in this group?
I think Kouat Noi is a guy to give some catches to. He's playing really well in recent times.
Here's Glover from the wing, rattles in the 3-ball.
That's a guy who played really well in their last game. That win over Illawarra, came in off the bench, gave him a scoring punch. Was their team leading scorer that night.
Back out to 6. Scott can't get it to go. You just pray that he can get an uninterrupted run with injury, Angus Glover, because we know what he can do. He can stay out there.
He can really light it up. That's what he's looking to do. Here, Angus Glover again.
Big time. That's big time.
Right when we were asking, where do they go to for offense? Angus Glover with 2 threes back-to-back. Adam Warren has to call a timeout here to try and stop this run.
And the faith that Chase Buford shows in his team's depth is rewarded. Glover steps up, hits a big shot, and the lead is out to a game-high 9 for the Kings. As big as we've seen so far in the contest at 63-54.
This has been a roller coaster of a third quarter, hasn't it? As Kings skipped out earlier, the Taipans called a timeout. Great response, came back out, tied it up. Timeout Kings, and then they've responded for their head coach. Jumped out to another 9-point margin.
This season, with thanks to MG, we're giving away a brand new MG ZS EV electric car valued at $44,990. To enter now, head to nbl.com.au/winmg. The Kings making their run here in this third period. They trailed by 3 at the half. They got a little bit of help with the review of Xavier Cooks's buzzer beater that wasn't and then was before half-time. But they quickly ate into that Cairns lead, and now they've really taken control, at least on the scoreboard. We know the Snakes can put together a run in a hurry. Scott can't get it started with a 3, and then McCall throws it away. Bruce, Hunter, Glover, Galloway, Noi out there for the Kings.
Delay of game.
Shannon Scott's going to come out of the ball game.
Chase, you guys have a game delay warning. Bruce dribbled the ball up the foul and then did a layup.
It's a little bit for Chase Buford to think about. He's had a warning. His team's had a delay of game warning as well. Taj has certainly been involved this evening. 9-point lead to the Kings. Game high at 63-54. First on the table, the reigning champions. The Taipans third, one of the big challenges in NBL23. McCall can't get the 3 ball to go.
Again, not really getting DJ Hogue involved, still on those 6 points that he had at half-time, and spent that entire possession just standing and watching in the corner.
1 of 8, DJ Hogue. And now Cooks goes to work. He's up to 19, and it's an 11-point lead now for Sydney. Air for 3. That won't go.
They haven't got the ball to Pinder on the block either. They've kind of just completely went away from him and what was working so well for him in the first half.
Sijovic adamant that he dribbled it off an orange foot. Referee disagrees. So an 11-point hole they found themselves in, and you just feel that the crowd's really flattened out a bit here at the Cairns Convention Centre as well.
It's been a grind of a third quarter for the home team. Just 10 points in this term, as for most of the term they've lost their way at the offensive end.
So Air, Hogue, Deng, McCall and Pinder out there.
There we go.
On offense. They get it in to Keanu Pinder. He sees it double, kicks it out. Ben Air straight away 3 ball. Can't go. Deng pulls it down. Here is DJ Hogue. Back to Pinder. Gets inside. Foul on the play. Sean Bruce stepping in front of the freight train that is Keanu Pinder coming down the lane.
He ended up in great position there, Sean Bruce, but you see his arms out in front. Picks up the foul.
So Pinder at the stripe, 7 of 10 so far at the free throw line. Win tonight for Cairns. They'll stay in third. They'll take the season series for just the 2nd time in their history against the Kings. Split the first 2 games, both on Sydney's home floor. Just a second home win for them, but they've got a bit of ground to make up. First of 2 from Pinder is good. Second is a little offline. Suarez pulls it down. Pinder might beat the buzzer. Oh. Not quite. He stole it away, heaved it toward the hoop, couldn't get it to go. Plenty of work to do for the hosts at 3/4 time. The Kings taking control. They lead by 10. All the visitors in the third period at the Cairns Convention Centre. Derek Walton among them. They had their plenty of offensive struggles, did the hosts. Plenty of work to do at the timeouts. Angus Glover with a couple of big 3-pointers. And at 3/4 time, it's the Kings by 10. Success again in enemy territory. Tough going for the Snakes tonight, Glenn.
It's been really dry. Look at the shooting percentages for the Taipans. 5 of 30 from long range. More than half of their shots have been from beyond 3-point territory. And the Taipans are now 27% from 3 at home this season, the lowest by any Taipans team at the Cairns Convention Centre.
Let's get courtside. Jenna O'Hay.
An uphill battle for the Taipans in this last quarter to get that home win for their fans. That was a stand-up 3/4 time huddle from Coach Ward, which we all know what that means. There was going to be some choice words, I think, used, all about effort. And as X said earlier, I would love to see them get Pinder down in the post more in this 4th quarter to get some easy buckets.
Thanks, Jenna. So a 10-point deficit to be made up. Adam Ford's instructions will be very clear at 3/4 time. Here's Hogue on the perimeter. Hunter gets the rebound, pulls it in over the top of Nasijevic. Wardenberg puts it on the floor. Did he walk? There's a call on the baseline.
You're going to wipe up the sweat. Beautifully executed play.
Got away with it. Yeah, Sydney got away with one right there. They got Hogue off a double stagger on the baseline, got him a wide open 3. Unfortunately, he couldn't knock it in, but that, like you said, great play call, great. That's the guy that they need to get touches.
Of course, Chase Buford coached DJ Hogue in the G League at the Wisconsin Herd a few years ago, and when he saw him open on the arc there, he turned away thinking, oh my God, this is down, and they ended up dodging the bullet.
I've seen this before once or twice. Turnover here. Nasijevic comes racing down the other way, swatted by Quo. An emphatic denial.
Well, that's a big-time defensive play. The Amy replay. Vasiljevic thinks he's got it with the left, and Qual just went one story higher.
Timing's everything. That was beautiful from Bull Qual.
That's a beautiful pocket pass by Bruce right there. Again, in an empty side ball screen, put him and Cooks in it and allow, you know, whoever that point guard is just to make a play. And great slot pass, great finish by X in that little area right there.
Really enjoyed the episode of the Huddle last week with yourself, Len, talking to Sean Bruce about just the level that he's playing at, really getting back to some of his best. He didn't have confidence a couple of years ago, went and played for Joey Wright in Adelaide, and now he's excelling in this Sydney team.
He was out of the league after his stint in Brisbane. Joey Wright picked him up midway through the season and has really found a home in Sydney. Brought up his 100th game for the Kings not long ago, a championship winner, and a guy Chase Buford trusts to make plays with the rock.
He's a tough competitor. Make him tough in country, Vic.
Tough and just solid. You know what you're going to get from him night in and night out. He's going to come in, he's going to be heady and a super steady point guard for him. He's not going to, you know, give you 20. He's going to, you know, give you 6, 5, and 5, and he's going to be really good at playing his role.
Cooks makes it a 14-point lead now with 23 on the night. Xavier Cooks. Hogue misses again, 1 of 10 for DJ. After a 4-point performance, which he didn't score in the final 3 quarters of the game on Friday, Hogue is struggling again here. And he's really getting away from the Snakes.
Yeah, and you know, as great of a shot as that is for Hogue right there, and he's comfortable in that mid-range position, that's a shot that the Kings live with. They, you know, you'll hear them screaming on the sideline, give up those mid-range shots. They don't want to give up layups. They don't want to give up threes. They want to give up everything inside that arc and mid-range. They feel like they want to play the numbers game, and they feel like those are great looks to give up.
Still no Keanu Pinder to start this final period. Saw a shot of him back of the bench a couple of moments ago. The Kings taking advantage. Air flings it to Qual. Trying to get the step on Simon. Makes the move and gets it to go off balance, falling baseline.
That's just tough. Late in the shot clock, not a lot happening. He's got a tough defender in front of him. Great closeout, bodies up, and just ability to rise up and finish over the top through the contact as he falls out of bounds.
8 so far tonight for Bull Qual, averaging 10 a game this season. 75% at the free throw line, 36% on 6 threes a game he's attempting. 11-point lead after the 3-point play to Qual at the other end. Vasiljevic gets inside, shows some physicality as he makes his move.
That's what the Kings do so well. Penetrate, kick, and then Vasiljevic as the defense is rotating. There it is, Walton Jr. heat on the rim. Sean Bruce, and now Vasiljevic's got the defense on the hop, forces the contact, gets to the free throw line.
Floor wipers earning their money this evening at both ends of the floor. It's been the best shooting night for DJ. He's stayed aggressive, X. That's what you'd love to see.
Yeah, he has, and he's gonna be aggressive no matter what. He's a guy that can get hot quickly. He shoots the ball extremely well, and he's a big focal point of this offense.
Doesn't miss too many at the stripe either. Came in 15 of 18 on the season. He was 1 of 1 before that trip. Splits them. It is a 12-point lead for the Kings, who are a perfect 5 and zip on the road this season, looking for their 18th straight road victory. As Hogue finally gets a second shot of the night to go.
Well, they've been getting him some touches in this 4th quarter. Clearly part of the conversation. That 3-quarter time huddle, they ran that action for him to begin this term. They know they need to try to get DJ Hogue going if they're going to put some points on the board.
It's the opposing DJ trying to get a 3 to go. Qual pushes it up in transition. Hogue back to Qual. Wardenberg looking for a lane. Now Deng likes the match-up against Dasijevic on the left block. Spins into the lane. And a tough shot from Majuk Deng. Back to 8.
Another stop here makes it really interesting.
And it's really game on. Not going to happen though. Dasijevic into the lane, floats it home with a deft touch. Trailed at half-time, did the Kings. Took control throughout that third period. Really dominated proceedings.
Jeez.
It gets all the way inside.
An opportunity to finish that. Three-point play. A couple of guys coming in, Pinder and McCall. You know, here's the attack from Hogue. Little hesitation. Splits the gap. Couldn't quite finish the play. But who's not checking in right now is Shannon Scott. Awfully quiet in this one. Look at the line. 0 points, 0 from 8 from the field. Just the 1 assist. And as a result, we've had Ben Hare running the one the last few minutes here. It's going to be Tajir McCall at this point. Adam Ford just thinking, you know what? It may just not be Shannon Scott's night.
Yeah. It just might not be. But, you know, they have Pinder's back in the game now. They have Hogue, which they'll probably put in a ton of ball screens. And then Qual is a guy that's going to stretch the floor for him, just like Waterberg will. So
9 of the last 12 points in the game going the way of the Taipans. We're back to 8. Simon couldn't get it to go, and that is an easy tip in for Suarez. Possibly too easy. Underneath the cup, uncontested in the end. Hogue with a strong move this time. DJ's in attack mode and trying to fire his side up.
Love it. They put the ball in his hands. Horns action. Can go left or right, and he's able to turn the corner. And Chase Buford wants to talk about it. Saying, hold on, fellas. We can't give up those straight line drives to the bucket. It's a single-digit game.
They led by 14 earlier in the term, Sydney. It's now 8 with 5 and a bit remaining in the final period. So a little bit of work to do for the Taipans. 66-74, but positively, DJ Hogue maybe just starting to get involved in this game, and at least they've got something working for them on the offensive end. 33% shooting tonight, 22 of 66.
I just haven't been able to find the target. We know they're going to get them up. They're going to get a whole bunch of three-point attempts up, and some nights they'll go down. Tonight hasn't been one of those. They haven't been able to find the range at home throughout the season. But they do have the ability to flick that switch.
Exactly.
Can they do it here in these last 5 minutes? Draw themselves back and take this one down to the wire.
It's a switch that's connected to a whole lot of lights. When it gets flicked, plenty of good stuff happens for the Cairns Taipans. Let's go courtside. It is Sydney by 8. Genero Hay.
Yeah, that was Chase was very calm during that timeout. It was just all about defensive communication to get stops. And a downhill drive for Walton just then that you just saw. Oh. I think we'll see Xavier Cooks being subbed in right now, so this doesn't get any closer.
Time for some action, because the Cairns Taipans are really making a bit of a run now.
10-42. Your hands, fair hands down.
Pinder with the layup. Again, it came off another turnover for the Taipans.
Great job. Just stepping to the side a little bit around Vasiljevic. Knows he can finish over the top. Avoids the offensive foul. Cooks back into the game.
Walton's gone down in a bit of a tangle there. Clutching his face. Twelve points so far tonight for Walton. 4 assists, 4 turnovers. See what happened here. Maybe just the left arm of Paul Quall as they jostled for position.
He grabbed his shorts.
Yeah, the officials missed Walton grabbing Quall's shorts.
Hey, Walton.
As I,
Hey, if I'm going to go here, grab the guy and put him over. He goes on the floor and let it go. If I got a call there, it would have looked like bad.
A glancing blow.
It's my bad.
At best, Derek Walton. He's not happy about the treatment. Not happy about the towel. Generally fair to say, just not all that happy.
I know, I thought.
So 6-point ball game, 74-68. 4.5 remaining. Cooks, Bruce, Simon, Suarez, Vasiljevic out there for the Kings. Led by as many as 14 earlier in the period. Wardenberg with a good defensive possession. And now the home fans are starting to get involved.
He did a good job here. Took the first one, bang, and then was always going down.
he was going down.
Second time around.
Yeah.
The proper call there would have been a flop. Let him sit down, flop warning, no whistle. But Wardenberg, by staying strong on the initial bump, convinced the official to call the offensive foul, and Xavier Cook's 4th personal.
18 turnovers for the Kings tonight. I'd say Adam Ford, that's a number he would be pretty pleased with from his defence.
I think that's what's kept him in it, their ability to turn him over.
Here's Hogue for 3. Won't go. Simon with the rebound. He's landed awkwardly. Looks like he's up and going again after hopping around for a moment. Bruce has been critical in late game situations for the Kings. Vasiljevic from outside. That won't go. Cooks pulls down the board, hauls it in, and the hoop.
Big play. He knows it too. Wow, all kinds of athleticism on display in a big moment.
So Xavier Cooks, 5 offensive rebounds, 5 defensive rebounds to go with 25 points on the evening as Pinder comes down the lane. He's met at the rim by Xavier Cooks.
And that's 5. That might be one where you just have to give up.
Xavier Cooks stuffing the stat sheets in more way than one. 25, 10 rebounds.
He realized mid-jump.
Walks past Derek Walton, getting some treatment on the bench. Keanu Pinder, I should say, has fouled out twice against the Kings so far this season. Their previous 2 games. This time it's Xavier Cooks' turn to take an early exit.
And plenty of time on the clock for the Taipans to make a bit of a run here.
A lot of time.
Cooks 25 and 10. Outstanding performance from him, but still 3.5 minutes, 6-point game. They're 5 of 34 from long range.
Haven't been shy to keep shooting them. Conversely, the Kings 5 of 19, and now another turnover.
And that's Bruce's foul right there. He went extremely early, didn't allow Tim to get set. And that was the communication that you see between the guys right there. Tim is telling him, just wait on me, allow me to get to that ball screen. Those are fouls that that guard picks up by going early.
The intrigue continues to build. Pinder coming downhill. Off balance, can't get it to go. Would have been a miracle finish. 22 for Pinder, 15 for McCall, 12 for Hogue for the Taipans. 4 Kings in double digits, led by Cooks as 25, but he's fouled out. Vasiljevic is one of those 4 Kings in double digits. Airballs the turnaround jump shot. Cairns down by 7, trailed by 14 earlier in the period. Hoping for just their 2nd home win of the season and to snap the Kings' 17-game road winning streak. McCall can't get it to go on the offensive end. Bruce behind the back to Suarez and gets it back. 2-man game with Vasiljevic and Glover down the lane. Angus Glover with a big-time bucket.
Tough finish. It's where the bounce for Angus Glover comes into play. Hogue was waiting for him. Glover hung and finished at the cup.
So how can they answer? Hogue with the spin move and denied by Suarez. Big block from the big man. A few hearts might have just sunk in Cairns Convention Centre. Under 2 minutes now. Vasiljevic rattles out. And the Taipans got one more run in them. Wardenberg underneath his foul.
Oh, that would have been the dagger from Vasiljevic down the other end, and it went halfway down. That's now back-to-back games. Vasiljevic 0 for 8 from long range. And here, McCall just late in the piece able to find Wardenberg, and he gets to the stripe.
White team flat lining, everybody.
Sam Wardenberg with 7 on the night so far. Hasn't stepped to the stripe this evening. 71% on the season. Nails the first. Seven-point game. Cairns winners by 5 the first time they met. Sydney by 3 the second time they met. We're back to 6. 2 possessions in it. Walton back out there now for the Kings. Vasiljevic, Glover, Bruce, and Suarez. Xavier Cook's having fouled out of the ball game. Suarez underneath, can't get it to go.
Get it to him.
Kinder back out to Hogue. Cairns crowd wants it to go to Pinder. He swings it to Wardenberg. That won't go. Can't connect on the 3 ball. As we tick down toward a minute left, the Kings up by 6. Clinging on are the defending champs, top of the table. Bruce hit the game winner last time out. Can he do it again here? A little bit strong on the 3 ball. Now the Cairns Taipans have really got a motor.
Must score here for the Taipans. Played through Hogue.
DJ from downtown keeps the dream alive.
With 36 seconds on the clock, all they got to do is get one stop, and they're going to have time on the clock.
Oh, wow. They've got fouls to give to the Taipans.
They almost forced the takeaway.
They had him in the trap. Decided to go for it. That's good action. Put the ball in Hogue's hands. The D, look at the help from Suarez. Non-existent. Late contest, and that's enough for Hogue to line it up and cut it to 3.
Yeah, and the Kings rely on that ball pressure and their guards to get over those screens. The bigs are going to play in deep drops, and they're going to give up those threes right off ball screens.
So got a timeout and a coach's challenge on the play.
Well, he's kept it up his sleeve. This is the type of moment you would use it in. He was a long way away from the play. Adam Ford. We didn't have a great look at it because they're in the trap. Here we get another one. Hogue reaches in. Jeez, it looked. It's hard to know whether he hit him on the wrist, but looked pretty clean. He called for the challenge. Is there an angle on the other side? Because if not, I don't think there's anything definitive to overturn that.
Might need that special camera again.
I don't even know if the ref could see that one.
The ref is actually pushing Chase Buford out of the way to get a better angle on the play. DJ Hogue pleading his case. Let's hear the verdict.
Coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The call on the floor is confirmed. Foul on number 1. White ball.
Locals share their verdict on that.
That's all right. They just got to get one stop here. 34 seconds on the clock. Get one stop. Stay solid.
Almost the steal as McCall, playing cornerback, came across to intercept the pass.
They didn't want any part of solid. They got after it.
Yeah.
Doubled the initial catch and almost forced the turnover.
High risk, high reward.
High stakes. Game on the line. High drama here at the Cairns Convention Centre. Another thriller between the reigning champs and a team that aspires to that level of play in NBL23. Glover and Bruce connect on the inbound. You can hear Adam Ford screaming, no foul. Plenty of time here for the Taipans. Walton to Bruce in the corner. Side of the backboard won't go. And there is time for the Snakes here to tie it up. DJ Ho puts it over his shoulders. Big time hit.
Wow.
By one earlier in the night. And DJ might have rescued them.
Outrageous.
He needs to get up on that. Push up, get him off the three-point line. What a big-time shot.
He was 1 of 10 from the field earlier tonight. 5 of 16, 18 points for DJ Hogue, tied at 78. And we've got a timeout. And again, it could be another late game situation for this Sydney Kings outfit.
Well, great job from Hogue to just stick with this ball game. He'd been so quiet. We spoke about it at halftime. We broke down some of the plays that they had utilised to get him open, and in these last couple of possessions, they've put it in his hands. Wardenberg gets the defensive board. They give it straight to Hogue. Slap on the ball screen, get the switch, rises up, drills it over the top.
With no cooks, you got to put Walton in a 1-5 high ball screen and see if he can create some, or him or DJ, one of the two.
So tied at 78. Keep in mind, earlier in the quarter, the Kings led by 14 at 69 to 55. Biggest lead of the game.
The other thing to keep in mind is here is a foul to give for the Taipans. So you don't want to go too early, but the Kings get it in and they run a little time off the clock. If you can do it effectively, make them have to throw it in again, you can use that to your advantage.
On that first or second dribble that's away from the rim, you might be able to get away with it.
So 2 game-winning buzzer beaters for the Sydney Kings so far already this season. Vasiljevic to inbound. Bruce is out there. Walton's out there. Suarez and Glover. The 5 for the Kings. Walton takes the inbound pass. Game tied. Steps into it. Can't connect. And we've got extra basketball to go to here to close out round 8.
Wow. Well, we knew we were in for a great game tonight coming in. Top 3 clash. These two teams previously had played 2 really tightly contested ball games, and now we're headed to OT. No cooks either. Geez, didn't this game turn? 3.5 minutes to go when Cooks fouled out of the game.
Fist pumps immediately from the Cairns bench. Much as it did when Pinder fouled out last time they met. The exclusion of one of the stars changes the complexion. And the Taipans fight back from 14 down in the last period to tie it up and send it to OT.
And they're playing confident basketball. They're playing confident basketball now. They truly believe in this huddle that they can win this game. So expect to see them come out ultra aggressive, probably get Pinder involved and stay in that 3-4 ball screen with Hogue at the top of the key.
Well, you got to keep the ball in Hogue's hands to begin this overtime period. We spoke before, this is not Shannon Scott's night. He's been riding the bench throughout this 4th quarter.
Coach is stressing a little bit.
He's really stressed.
Let's take a look at the Hungry Jacks highlights for the second half.
Well, there'll be a whole bunch of the Kings to begin with, and then it will be a whole bunch of Taipans down the stretch, because they looked like they were cruising to an easy victory there at one point, and then the Taipans just kept plugging away, and then the 2 quick fouls on Cooks completely changed this ball game. 3.5 minutes to go. I thought maybe those buckets from Glover might have been enough to put it away, but it wasn't. Cooks fouled out, and all of a sudden, everything started coming up Cairns.
Tip in from Suarez. Pinder rumbles down the lane. Cooks was really looming large, but this man has really found his range here in the late game situation. DJ Hogue hits 1-3 to bring it back to a 3-point game, and then the tying 3 with 8 seconds remaining.
The 5th overtime game of the season. The Taipans have lost 9 of their last 10 overtime games played.
A little bit of work to do here in the remaining 5 minutes. Let's go courtside. Jenna O'Hay.
My boy Hogue, he came good for me. How exciting. The crowd's going off. A great play there. It was a slip screen by Hogue from McCall to get downhill. Even though Shannon Scott's not playing many minutes in this game, he was really active in that huddle and giving advice to everyone.
Got to tell your dad, he's a very good judge, Jenna. It was Jenna's dad that said everything DJ Hogue touches turns to gold. In the last couple of minutes of the game, that was certainly the case. And a bucket to start the overtime period for the Snakes.
Great play drawn up by Adam Ford there, using the danger of DJ Hogue, the threat of DJ Hogue to free up to Jim McCall.
Sijovic, Glover, Bruce, Walton Jr. Suarez out there for the Kings. Walton Jr. goes straight into Wardenberg. He's been battling away tonight as the Kings point guard. Wardenberg not that thrilled with the call. Kiwi will have to collect himself and stand ready to rebound potentially.
Just his 3rd personal, Wardenberg. The Taipans have spread the fouls out. Every one of the guys on the floor is on 3 fouls. The Cairns, meanwhile for Sydney, Cooks of course fouled out. And they've got Justin Simon and Tim Suarez both on the bench right now with 4.
Derek Walton Jr. able to hit both at the line. Back where we started this overtime period. Paul Hogue, Qual, Wardenberg and Pinder out there. Hogue can't continue his heroics. And then he's called for a foul as he tries to tip the ball loose. 4th foul on DJ now.
He can't afford to foul out in this one.
18 points, DJ Hogue. He was 1 of 10 to start tonight. And he came up big when it mattered most. And still has an opportunity to do so. (69-55) they led in that 3rd period. Did the Sydney Kings. Cairns hadn't led by any more than 3 all night. Here's Glover, a couple of big threes from almost the exact same position. Can't connect that time. Rebound to Pinder. And Evan goes all the way, can't get it to go. He stepped to the line. Put them up by 2.
Good attack from Pinder. Again, when he sees someone he knows he can rise up above, he gets on the front foot.
When he gets that full head of steam downhill, extremely tough to guard.
See on the screen, he's had a good night at the stripe. 11 of 15 now. 25 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists and a steal for Keanu Pinder. Going toe-to-toe with Xavier Cooks at times and gives them a 2-point lead. The home team trying to win a 2nd game in their building this season. The Kings trying to win an 18th straight on the road. Set a new record in the
Department of Travelling success as Walton Jr. can't connect. They've done it all, shooting just 34% from the field tonight, the Taipans, but they forced 19 Sydney turnovers. Xavier Rattan-Mays told you earlier, it's probably what's kept them in it as Pinder with the turnaround can't connect. Kings back the other way. No Cooks for Sydney. They look underneath. Hunter takes some contact.
Hunter looks bemused. He challenged that shot underneath. Good find from Bruce. Put it right in the right spot. Is that a foul? They don't have their challenge, the Taipans. They might have won that if they did.
I think so. I would like to see the Kings get DJ a little bit more involved. He hasn't touched the ball in this overtime period, and then the last couple minutes of regular play as well. I would like to see them get him coming off a couple pin downs or put him in a high ball screen where he can create, and he's their best shot maker on the floor right now.
Meantime, down the other end, the Taipans doing a good job searching out the mismatches.
Yeah.
The Kings switching everything right now in that 55 defensive scheme. The Taipans inviting those switches and then either finding Pinder or Hogue to take advantage.
So Hunter hits both at the line and then checks out of the game. Simon Vasiljevic, Glover, Bruce and Walton Jr. out there for the Kings. Hogue, Wardenberg, McCall, Pinder and Quoll for the hosts. Knotted at 82 with 3 minutes remaining. First and third, Sydney and Cairns. Hogue gets inside, can't get it to go. McCall dangling off the rim as DJ pulls it down.
But they've got tiny, the Kings, in order to switch all those screens. No Suarez, no Hunter, and Cairns take advantage on the offensive glass.
So another bucket for DJ Hogue. Controlled the late game situation. And it is an offensive foul. The crowd rising at the Cairns Convention Centre. They can sense the moment now in front of their team. Another big stop from that Taipans defence. Chase Buford wants to talk it over with his team.
Oh, he's challenging this.
He's going to be a coach's challenge on the call. Simon came in and collided, making his move to the hoop.
The question there is going to be, did McCall establish position before Justin Simon took off? And for mine, yes, he did.
It's helping from the weak side there, McCall. Simon comes in, Quolls over the top. Pinder's in the action. Let's hear the verdict.
The coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The call on the floor is confirmed. An offensive foul on Simon.
So both coaches unsuccessful with their challenges this evening. And it'll stay a Taipans ball. Up 2 with 2.5 remaining in overtime.
I would love to know the success rate.
I think it's pretty low.
Of coaches' challenges in the league, in our league this year.
Very low. Last season, in the first year they brought it in,
yeah,
some guys got on a little hot streak.
Yeah.
Adam Ford got on a heater one game, had 3 or 4 successful in a row.
I know Gorge did as well.
This season, not so much.
Maybe a little bit of desperation slips in these late game situations as well. See on the screen, the Kings have won 17 straight on the road. The Taipans are 1-4 at home this season. Here's Pinder in the post. Xavier's been calling for it all night, and Pinder stuffs it, getting upstairs.
That's probably not the matchup you want. DJ guarding Pinder on the block.
Well, they don't. Yeah. Again, switching those actions. They got Hunter off that matchup, and here they bring up their 21st turnover of the night. There it is. Once they force the switch, pound it down low. The help from Bruce over the top in the middle. So Pinder spins towards the baseline.
And DJ has to do a little bit of a better job. He can't allow that to go baseline. The double team is coming from the middle. You have to force him uphill into that double.
As Liam said, 21 Kings turnovers. 4-point lead to the Taipans. DJ Hogue doing his best to drag them over the line. Kicks it out. Now on the play as DJ made his move inside.
They missed to Jim McCall there. Sean Bruce is the matchup on McCall, and Chase Buford's telling him to help. He's really not defending McCall at all. Watch Jim McCall flash towards the ball right here. Wide open in the middle of the paint. He's saying, hey, can I get involved? Meanwhile, Hogue barrels over Vasiljevic and gives up the offensive foul.
Now DJ's got to take a seat.
That's his fair.
Yep. So man that dragged them back into it. Hit the last 2 threes of the game when they were down 6, including one with 8 seconds left to get it to OT. DJ Hogue with 20 points is out of the game.
God!
Crams it home over Pinder.
Put him in the bucket. And one.
Huge slam from Jordan Hunter. What a way to inject yourself into overtime. McCall now Kouat Noi.
Wow.
He brings the Cairns Convention Centre to its feet. 5-point Snakes lead, still plenty to play in the final minute. Glover from deep answers right back.
Oh, what a game. Trading blow for blow in OT.
Couple of championship prize fighters going punch for punch. Who's going to get back to a corner? Who can land the knockout shot? Pinder's inside, flips it up to McCall. Floater will go. This is insane. 4-point lead to the Taipans again. Glover's got 16 in the game. Walton for 3. Won't go. Wardenberg rebound. And now they can slow it down, the Snakes. And a whistle with 24.4 remaining.
Well, they're feeling pretty good.
Giving high fives like the game's over.
They are. A chance here for Pinder to seal it. He's got a new career high, 28 points, alongside his 12 rebounds, and a chance to step to the free throw line here. Really to seal the game.
Makes the first.
And definitely backing up that tweet of his the other day. Doing a great job of it, too.
He said that they couldn't stop him. And with 29 and 12 rebounds, they haven't been able to. 5-point spread with just over 20 seconds remaining. Vasiljevic for Walton. Need a miracle here, Sydney. Whistle on the play. Pinder's down a little bit ginger underneath the basket. Walton's skipping away as well. Been in the wars a little bit tonight as the Kings point guard. Xavier Cook's fouled out in the final period. DJ Hogue fouled out here in overtime.
We got on the attack there. Walton Jr. down 5, clock ticking away. Takes me back to the final play of regulation. Scores tied. And they didn't get feet inside the arc, the Kings. Were looking for a 3-ball when all they needed was anything. And here, he's got himself to the free throw line. So they need to make 2, foul quickly, and put pressure on the Snakes to make free throws.
First is good.
If you make this one here, you can try and get a quick trap. See if you get a quick turnover and hopefully a quick three.
We get it back to a one-possession game. No, rims out. Pinder with another rebound. 14. Keanu Pinder having himself a massive evening. Back at 13. And 29 points. Down by 14 points in that final period. 69 to 55. They've rattled their way home, the Snakes. And they're on the precipice of a famous victory. Pinder, calm as you like. Short on the second, almost came up with his own miss. Bruce for the Kings to Walton, needs a quick three. Can't get it to go. McCall with the rebound. He's fouled and goes wobbling off toward the sideline.
That's a flop warning.
Flop warning, Mayo warning. He put a bit extra into that, did Tajir McCall. What would you give the Sal out of 10 there, X?
10 out of 10.
And this Cairns crowd has really come to life in the overtime period and late in the game. So too is their team. McCall to the line, up by 5. Stays perfect, he's 4 of 4 at the stripe so far. To make the margin 7. Rims out. They almost force another turnover. Would have been number 22 as the seconds tick down. Kings of the road, no more. A 17-game road-winning streak is snapped at the hands of the Snakes, who make a huge statement on their home floor and take the win by 6, 94 to 88 in overtime.
Big time win for Cairns. Big time, down 14. That looked done and dusted, and they just kept plugging away. The home fans love it. A win over the ladder leaders, the defending champs, keeps them inside the top 3. And on a weekend that billed as a big test for this Taipans squad, they managed to split it with a really resilient victory on their home floor.
Had to play the top 2. No surprises for the Foot Locker player of the game. Keanu Pinder, 13 rebounds, 30 points. He was immense all evening, 14 of 20 at the line to add to all of that. A pretty special performance from the Snakes star. Pretty special performance from the Snakes. Their second win at home of the season. They cement 3rd place on the table, defeating the Kings 94 to 88. Yeah, it was. Well, what a game. Monday Night Hoops served up. It went all the way down to the wire and then some. In overtime, Cairns play streak busters. They end Sydney's 17-game road winning streak, and Kouat Noi absolutely outstanding. 94-88 the final. Liam Santamaria and Xavier Rattan-Mays, that was something.
Well, the numbers aren't particularly pretty from a shooting percentage point of view. 36 from the field, 21 from three. But they came up big in big moments, X. None more. Obviously, Kouat Noi was powerful. But DJ Hogue, late in that fourth quarter, 2 massive threes to send that thing to overtime.
Yeah, 2 big-time threes. Obviously started 1 of 10, and to have the confidence to come down and know that your team needs you to make these shots is absolutely special. And for a guy to come into that position and to be able to make those shots to get his team into that overtime period was absolutely huge.
He continued to make plays, and Pinder, wow, what a performance. A new career high for Kouat Noi. He's the first Taipans player to have 30 and 10 in a home game in Cairns in terms of points and rebounds since Martin Catalini in 2007. As the Taipans came up with the big plays in big moments, of course, the foul out from Xavier Cooks. 3 minutes 37 of play in the fourth was really the moment where this game turned on its head.
It was so much involved in this game tonight. It was terrific to watch it play out. And, of course, Cairns cement 3rd spot with their win this evening as well. So that's a big result for them, and they make a big statement against the Sydney Kings, who will stay first, but they certainly had their work, or say second, and have their work cut out for them. New Zealand on top. That is an extraordinary looking table. So close, so competitive, this NBL23 campaign. And another cracker on Monday Night Hoops. Great fun, you two.
You too. Joel, well called, and what a brilliant game. Good job, X.
Thank you.
Great way to end the week. Look forward to seeing you back in action soon. Xavier, what a night we had. The Cairns crowd had plenty to cheer toward the ends. Their side getting it done in overtime. A statement win at home, 94-88. Plenty more to come as round 9 starts on Thursday